Hey guys, so I'm here just to help you out with creating your own page within Canvas. And there are a few different parts that can be tricky. However, once you start making one, it does make it a lot easier as you start making others. Depending on your Canvas, with IVA, how things have changed, you might need to get your lead teacher to add a blank page to your Canvas site in general. So I would verify with your lead about that one part. Um, but if you're able to do it on your own and you don't have to worry about those permissions, then that's what I'm going to walk you through. The first steps. After the first steps, I'm showing you how to make a page. Everybody will be on the same portion, whether your lead created the page or you've created it. Okay, so step one is, are you able to make a page on your own? If no, at this point, go ahead and email your lead teacher for your department and ask if they can add a separate page into your Canvas course. If you have permission, we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm logged into my Canvas and I am ready to edit as I need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is on the left side here, you could see that there is a bunch of different options. I'm going to go down and find pages. Here it is. Click on pages. Pages, everybody has access to pages. And this is going to give you a running list of every single page that is inside of your Canvas course. So obviously the more pages you have, the more it's going to take, longer it's going to take. So click on view all pages. So clicked on pages, view all pages. Give that a moment to populate. Okay, so these are all the pages that are inside of my Canvas course. So you might have more, you might have less. Don't worry about it. So now I'm going to go over to add a page. Here it is, the plus page. So this is the step that verify with your leader, if your department lead, if you are allowed to create your own pages. And if you are, you're just simply going to click plus page. And now you have a page open. If you're not able to, and the lead has to create it for you, then you're going to want to be within that page of pages. Sounds so redundant. Give it a second again to bring it back up. But they should have in here, should be a blank page, essentially, that was created for you. So look in and see if you can find the page. They might have named it already. That's just verify, and then you would just click on it to open up that document to continue editing. For the sake of creating a brand new page, I'm going to go ahead and do that here. Click plus page, and here we go. So now we have our page. The first thing is, what is this page going to be called? So for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm just going to say sample create a page. This is the name that's going to come up at the top when your students or parents are clicking from different pages. It's also going to be showing up on the top part here for the URL, for the website address for this one page. So I've created the title. Now down below, you have all these different options. This is really similar to using a Microsoft Word document. So some of this should look familiar, some of it should feel familiar to you. You have your bold, italicized, underlined. Then you have the text color. So if you click on the text color, you're going to get, click on the arrow next to the text color. You get the different choices. Not tons of them. It's pretty clunky, but you have quite a good variety. Same thing with highlighting. So this is going to create a highlighting aspect on your font. I do recommend that you do, if you're going to highlight before you change your font color, because certain colors will not show up very well. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. This is if you pasted something from another document and it has different font, or it has hyperlinks, or it has highlighting and you want to get rid of it, just highlight that information and then click this T, and it will get rid of all the formatting part on it. Right here we have alignment, so center, justify, left, right, and then we can move it in or move it back. So you're indenting, you're changing your indents. Here's your subponent, exponent, so above and below small fonts. Here is going to be your simple bullet list and number list. Below we have tables. I will explain how to do that. It's great to use for alignment, but they can get a little tricky and a little bit more in depth. Embedding media, I'll go over that as well. Hyperlinking, pretty simple. You just highlight whatever phrase or word you want hyperlinked or picture you want hyperlinked, click link to URL, and then put the URL that you want it to go to, and then it will attach it. To undo, same thing, click on it, highlight it, and then remove link. This is going to be a way to embed an image. This is going to be some extra parts like math. Unless you're a math teacher, you're not going to really worry too much about that. We aren't adding any Twitter tweets or links to our pages for the most part. Commons is a great source. If somebody has already created a resource, you can pull it out of your Commons and add it into a page. Here's where you can record and you can upload any media files. So if you've created a video, you can upload it from here. I typically do it through this source, to be honest. Then we have our font size. Just click on it and you have these options. And once you click on one size, a large size, it might, sometimes it goes bigger. For the most part, that's going to be the largest we can create. We have our paragraph, which is going to be the actual style. And then once we start typing, it's going to always be the same font. You're not able to change what style of font you're using. So if you want to get fancy, it's a whole nother video, and that's using something called Canva, not Canvas, but Canva, so CANVA.com. And you just can log in with your school account. We all should have a school account for Canva, and you can get really fancy. So I can help you out with that if you wanted to try that later on. And then you have this document right here, which is where you add everything to it. So for instance, if I was going to say, welcome, if I didn't like the size, the color, I can highlight it, change the sizing of it. I can come over here and make it bold or not, italicized or not. I can change the color of the font. I can highlight it. So I'm going to, again, highlight it and change the coloring. I can hyperlink these words. So highlight it again, go to the link, and maybe I want it to go to Google. So I'm just going to type in www.google.com. You notice it puts the underline link for you that you know it's hyperlinked. If you don't want it hyperlinked, I don't know what just happened to that. There we go. I'm going to highlight it again and remove the link. It just takes it away. It's as simple as that. So when you're typing out lots of words, welcome to my class. If you only want one word highlighted or hyperlinked, just choose that one word and it will highlight just that one word. If you want the entire line highlighted, highlight the whole thing and put it in. And this is even for a Zoom link. So if you wanted someone to have access to your Zoom link, then you'd want to copy the link for your Zoom meeting and then just simply link it. So it can be click here to Zoom. And then you would highlight it and put the Zoom link there. They now have access to go directly to your Zoom information. I typically, for Zoom, for side note, for the process of Zooming, if I have a link to my Zoom account, I will also, for the sake of security and helping my students and parents out, I will put my Zoom ID, and then I'll just paste what the ID is to my meeting, just in case my hyperlink doesn't work, or I forget to link it, or I put the wrong link. If I have the Zoom link ID, then they can just go to Zoom and put in the ID number without me having to worry. So it's great to have a couple options for them. Okay, so that's how you're going to add words in. If you want it to change your alignment, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the center of my page, align center. There it is. If I wanted to bring it down to the page, enter down. I need to bring it back up, just deleting and bringing it back up the page. I'm going to make these bullet notes, just highlight and click bullet list. Oops, I didn't want this one to have a bullet, so click on it, undo. So don't be afraid to click around. Don't be afraid to see what else you can do within your page. You're going to customize it to your desire. Again, Canvas is a little key in how it makes things. It looks very generic. It doesn't have a whole lot of personality to it, but that's okay, especially if you're just trying to get basic and just trying to get information out. So down below, I told you about the tables. So here's what the tables are. If I wanted to create buttons and I wanted them to be aligned in a manner that makes it nice and easy and clean, I would simply insert a table. So click on the table, and just like on our docs in Microsoft Word, come over and decide how many cells do I want the table to have. So in this case, I'm going to say 3. Okay, if I wanted it to be below, that it was 6 cells total, then I can do it this way or across. It's up to you, the look. So I'm going to say 3. And you'll notice it drops the table directly onto the page. At this point, you could simply type directly into it. So I'm going to cut this and paste it in here. And maybe this is going to go over here as well. And if I wanted these to be in the center of the cell, just highlight it and click alignment, and it's going to align it to the cell location. If you want to put a picture in, you have a couple of different ways you can put a picture in. One is embed. I actually typically will do through files because embed an image, you're limited. So you can put in a picture if you have the URL for it. You could search through Canvas, any folders that you have already saved, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. And then Flickr is great if you wanted to do a generic image. Then these are already safely approved, so you don't have any copyright laws to be able to utilize these. So maybe I'm going to put in a email, and so I want my teachers to be able to email me. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this one, an envelope, and it already sets these parameters for the sizing up. And then I say update, and it drops the picture directly in for me. And now I'm going to align it to the center. So now I have an image that's on my page. That's one way of doing it. If you wanted to find your own pictures, or you've saved your own pictures that you want to use, then you would be, let me just delete that, going over to images. Again, you have that Flickr option, or you can upload new image. So this would be, you've already gone to the internet, you've already saved the picture that you want to your computer, and now you're going to go ahead and choose the file that you would like to utilize. So it's going to pull open my computer folders, and I can find a picture that I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll use my dog Pepper. So I'm going to click open. And now you'll notice it hasn't put the picture in yet. That's okay. It's asking for an alternative text. This is simply if your picture doesn't upload, if your parent or student is logging in and their internet is lagging and it's a little slow. Sometimes images won't show the thumbnail, it won't show the actual image to preserve that bandwidth, that internet space. So having an alternative text tells them what it is. So maybe I wanted them to email me. They know that picture is actually a hyperlink to email me, even though it doesn't have a little picture that gives them a little clue. And then I'm going to say upload and put my cursor where I want it to upload. Give it a moment. You see the dots are working. And here it comes. There's Pepper. So now I have a picture that's in, and you notice it put it directly into the cell. So if I wanted to change the picture or make the picture smaller, I can adjust it by simply clicking on that one picture. Now I can hyperlink this picture because it is on my document just like we did for any phrase that we highlighted it and click to URL, I could do the same thing for a picture. So click on it and link it to wherever I want it to go. So now this picture is hyperlinked as well. And you'll know it's hyperlinked. A nice clue, just in case, is if you notice on Zoom ID, if I click on this and I look up here, there's no remove link. There's no link to URL. Nothing is highlighted. If I click on the picture, if you see right here, there's a little caret showing me right there that it does have a hyperlink, and that's how I can remove it. Okay, so that's how you would put the tables in. The tables are really nice and easy. If you want to add more columns or rows, this is a little section right here that you would do that with. So if you highlight, just hover over each of these, it tells you what to do. So delete the table altogether is the X. If you want to insert a row above, click on that. If you want to get rid of the row, find the one that has it, delete row, it goes away. Insert row after, it looks like it put it underneath it. Okay, and then here are your columns that you're able to play around with. So those are how you would do adding more and removing. You could also change the size by dragging it if you need to. And finally, for tables, if you click on the arrow and go to table properties, this is where you can actually edit the table itself, the formatting of the table. So one thing that's really useful is the border of the table. Some teachers like to have that border and it looks nice that they could see where the table falls. But for some individuals, having the buttons just where they want it on the page and hiding the border kind of gives a more appealing look. So if you want it to hide your border, simply go over to Advanced, and where it says Border Style, you're going to say Hidden. And where it says General, I'm just going to delete the border and say OK. So now it takes away that border. It does look like it still has a setting for, oops, let me click on my table and then table properties. And I'm going to verify, I'm going to go back into Advanced and let me just say none and OK. All right, so now there's no table. These little dots won't actually show up when you are in save mode. They're just here to help you when you are developing your tables. Okay, so those are tables. Next thing I want to show you is how to insert media. So this is a great tool to use if you are putting in a link or a video. You can even embed it directly into it if you have the code. You can embed a Google slide. You can embed a Google Doc. You can embed a video from YouTube. So there's a lot of different options for you to play around with it. So I'm going to go ahead and just, for the sake of timing and confusion, I'm going to get a thumbnail for mine. I apologize. Let me go in. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to come back. That's going to have to be I apologize. I'll create a different video of how to do a thumbnail for it. I did not preset a URL actually here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube, and I have a video that I've created. Give it a moment. Don't want myself to start screaming at you. Okay. And hi, my name is Ms. Eisman. I'm one of IVA Middle School. There we go. Sorry. Teachers. I'm very okay. So now down below the video where it says share, embed this link right here. I'm going to copy this whole link. Now, mind you, this is getting way more advanced. So if you feel like this is out of your realm, don't stress. I can help you with it personally, or you can watch this again. Okay, not everybody is doing this. It's just for those of you that feel adventurous and want to dive a little bit deeper. But this is how you would embed a video if it is on YouTube, or if you create your own video, if you have the link, or if you wanted to embed a Google slide or a Google document. Once you have the embed code, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to head back to our link here. Now, again, close that down so you can see where it was. I went to Insert Media, Embed, and I'm going to now paste that link and say OK. I'll give it a moment. And there it is. So you cannot embed onto Canvas from your Google Drive. You can place a link to a video, but it wouldn't play live. The only way you'd be able to embed any videos that you've created would be if you uploaded it to YouTube. So if you, again, have questions on that, let me know and I can help you out. But you can, every single one of you can embed a Google document of any sort, of whether it's slides, doc, form. You are able to embed those. And that's going to go through a whole nother setting and a whole nother video of how to do that. But this is how you would be able to embed or insert media. Okay, we went over the hyperlinks already. Same thing with images. So now, let's say we're done with our page. We're happy with what we think it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I have to step away. I'm going to go ahead and just press save. Saving does not publish it. Saving does not create a link for you to have access to. So you definitely want to make sure that you do those steps. But first, we're just saving. So this is what it looks like when it's in save mode. Again, like I told you, it's very clunky looking. You're going to want to clean it up, make it look how you want it to look. But here it is. So now I want to hyperlink my page. So I want my parents to be able to click to get to that document. So I'm going to go ahead and say publish. You cannot link anything inside of Canvas unless it's published. So the page has to be published, and that allows the link to be accessible. So now I'm going to go on to my home page. And on my home page, I'm going to create a link to the page we just created. So let me go in and edit. Again, patience is number one key, guys, when you're working on anything on Canvas. Sometimes it will be a little slow, a little laggy, and that's going to depend on how many people are on Canvas at that moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to where we're allowed to type anything or add anything into, and that is below the buttons on our homepage. Yours might be different. I wasn't given permission to do anything above that. So just for the sake of it right now, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. No. Okay. Just for the sake of it, let me down below here. So you can see I have a link right here to a page. So I'm going to create another link. So I'm just going to say link to sample. And this is just for you. It's going to get deleted after because this is actually my advisement page. So now I'm going to go ahead and highlight the part that I want linked. And I'm going to come over to the side here where it says pages. And then I'm going to scroll and find the page that I created, which was sample. Let's see if it's in there. See, and this is where I was saying there it is, create a page, sample create a page. So make sure you know the name of it. So again, I click to highlight it. come over to the side where it has links, files, images. Under links, I'm going to go to pages and find my page. If it was something else that was within Canvas, there are a few options behind me that you could see. So let me find that sample again. Now, what I want you to do is pay attention. When I click on this, watch what happens to link to sample. Okay, did you see? It flashed yellow. That flash tells you that you have connected the word link to sample to the page that you want it to be. So now I'm going to save it and test it. So I'm going to give it a moment to save, upload, refresh. I'm going to come down. Not too far. There it is. Link to sample. And now we're at our sample page. If at any point you are working on something and you created it and you're like, whoa, wait, something's wrong, just unpublish that page. And then you can edit it and fix it. And you won't have, if a student logs in during that time period, they won't have access to that page. So if you made a mistake, maybe you posted student information that you shouldn't have posted. Maybe you put a wrong date. Maybe it got all messed up some reason. Just unpublish it. You might get an email saying, I can't get in. That might happen. But at least you have time to fix it, edit what you need, and then you have to just save it and republish it. So now that it's unpublished, I can go in and edit. If you don't unpublish it, that's fine. It just means that your students will see or parents will see what's on that page before you have fixed it and refreshed it. That's all, just buying you some time. So that is how we create our page. That's how we edit it. That's how we add certain things to it. Like I said, if you wanted more help on embedding your Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, I'm happy to help you. If you need help doing exactly what I'm doing right now, which is using Screencastify, I'm happy to help you with that as well. There's a lot of things that you're able to do, but that's all I've got for you now. So hope this helps. Bye.